Welcome on into the Willie Podcast Show. I'm Willie Cologne, and he is
JJ, baby. What's been going on with your big Willie?
Oh, JJ, just getting older by the minute. April is here. It is my birthday month. I am excited, and I'm also like, the clock don't stop. I'm seeing more grays in places I would have never expected. But my energy is up because obviously, I work out and I kind of stay on top of myself. I can do better with the diet because I've been snacking from time to time. But overall, I feel in good shape. However, JJ, we do know once you get older, there's a checklist, especially when you get you get past 40. My birthday's April 9th, just to throw it out there. And, when you get older, man, the first thing people love to, like, oh, you're getting older. Do you have a will? Have you gotten your prostate checked? There's a checklist people throw at you as soon as you get over the hump by the age of 40. So
the doctor popped the glove.
Pow. I haven't had the procedure yet. I will get the procedure done. I know it's a serious matter. I will look into it. I want to ask you, have you, JJ, had your prostate checked?
Matter of fact, I had to just do that last year, Big Willie. So, yeah, I'm in good hands with Allstate.
Okay. JJ, for those out there, and I apologize because I'm trying to make sure my phone doesn't disrupt us in the process, but you're in your golden age, right? You're not 50 yet, are you?
Yes, sir.
Yet?
Yes, sir. My mama said you don't start living till you get 50, Big Willie.
Well, God bless her soul. I want to say this though, JJ. When you turn 50, and I'm not looking forward to 50. Yeah. All right, I'm holding on until I'm in my early 40s, and I feel great once again. But when you turn 50, what changes did you notice?
I told my
barber. Were they
barber,
drastic?
I told my barber.
Okay.
You're going to have to start putting that powder on them clippers, Big Willie, because it seems like every time I go to the barber shop and he trim me up, that powder got down and get thicker and thicker on them clippers. You notice it? Do you notice it, Big Willie?
Listen, I can't throw rocks. I'm salt. I'm on the salt and pepper train myself, so I'm in no position to throw rocks, JJ. But I do want to throw this at you.
Yes, sir.
And this is just me throwing it at you.
Yes, sir.
Now that you're climbing up the ladder, in your mind, you are in your golden age, right?
Yes, sir.
If you'd have seen the latest Bill Burr comedy special on Hulu, it's great. I'm a big Bill Burr fan. He did say this is a time where, people his age from like 50 to like 70, you're dropping dead or it's a prolonged illness, right? You're in that state where like people are either hanging on or they're falling off, right? And so you got to decide, obviously health is wealth and take care of yourself, JJ. But I do want to throw this at you. In regards to the barber situation, is there ever a chance, JJ, ever,
yes, sir,
that you would get a new do, that you would cut the haircut, that you would change what's currently on your head? Is there ever a change now that you're getting older? Does the age warrant a new do for you?
Yes,
That's what I'm going to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, really?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
break your news.
Because I'm just going to be honest.
People know you for the hair, by the way.
Yes, sir. You're going to see everything gone with one ponytail in the back hanging down. Oh, yeah, Big Will, I got to keep the ponytail. Now, I'm different. I can't be like everybody else got done it. You got people being like people with the dreads. You got people with the bald heads. Well, maybe I can form this style. I'm going to got there and have a bald head with one long ponytail hanging to the back, Big Willie. That's going to be my goddamn going out style.
That's not the answer I was looking for.
But Big Willie, it's different.
JJ, you're different. The hair has been different. You should not be shooting for different. I think you've mastered different.
Yes, sir.
I think I respectfully call you eccentric because I think you're a walking masterpiece.
Don't you see the Japs and Chinese sometimes with a bald head, the karate man with a long ponytail? What's wrong with me?
Well, one, you're from Jackson, Mississippi, right? You're not you're not from the temple. You're not from a Buddhist temple, if you will.
Yeah.
JJ, what I was like, I've seen your pictures throughout your house.
Yes, sir.
You have rocked multiple styles.
Yes, sir.
This is the most consistent. I've seen you bedazzle your hair. I've seen you put beads. I've seen you have it in a multiple of styles, but this seems like your go-to. I'm just reaching out
Yes,
because I just want to say this.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the only one in your household that wants you to change your hair.
I think you're the only one.
Ah,
I think you're the only one. Big Willie, I'm going to ask you something. Do you miss your dreads?
no.
Huh?
Mm-mm. No.
You don't really?
Real talk, dog. I do not miss my dreads. I am happy my dreads are off my hair. I sleep cooler. I'm able to move my neck. You know, now that the weather's starting to warm up, I don't have this kind of like this whole radiator, you know, because my hair, for some reason, absorbed heat and it would just sit on my neck, right? And so when I'm on the desk talking sports or I'm moving around, having a collar and a tie with that sitting right here, it became a lot. And I hate it, and I got tired of the maintenance, to be honest with you. Sitting in a chair for 2 or 3 hours to get it, washed, done up, style get lined up. That was like a 3-hour process, bro. And I got tired of, and then on top of dealing with multiple hairstylists, especially if one of my hairstylists I felt wasn't doing a good enough job, when I had to go find somebody else. And then when I was on the road traveling, finding somebody to line me up all the time became a thing. So it became more of a nuisance to me than enjoyable. So I'm of the mindset like I'm good. I don't need my dress.
Well, Big Willie, I'm gonna keep on rocking, Big Willie. Goddamn, I can't. That's just who I am. And if it had to come off, Big Willie, the long ponytail gonna be there.
I want to. Who the hell is that? JJ, do you know Eddie?
Are you guys expecting it? Hello?
JJ,
are you guys expecting a guest?
JJ,
no, sir.
Hello?
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 JJ,
hello?
JJ, this is coming from your feed.
No?
Yeah, this is...
Willie, did you book a guest? Wait, hello?
Nah, JJ, say something to him, JJ.
Hello?
He looking at you.
Who is this man?
Who,
are you sure this isn't like a friend of yours, JJ? Are you
no, sir.
Joke on me?
Big Willie, I think that's you.
No, JJ, he looked like he in your house somewhere.
No, Big Willie. I think he another part of your house, Big Willie. Willie, I ain't never seen this in my life.
Look at the mustache. Is that
Gucci?
Is that one of Gucci's old boyfriends?
Crazy.
Come here.
JJ, this gotta be.
Well, me and Willie trying to figure this out. Come here. Yeah, but we doing something too. This ain't never happened.
Yeah, this is.
Willie say, is this one of your ex-boyfriends on here?
Yeah. Where?
Because he just popped up on here. Willie say it got to be one of your exes or something.
He looked like he from Mississippi. He's listening to us.
He's listening to us.
Who is that? Y'all know?
We don't know.
His name is Eddie Richardson. He don't go to church with y'all?
He don't go to church with you, Willie say.
Somebody popped up on their line.
JJ, we just got a text from Eddie. It says April Fools.
I be darned.
April Fools.
Yeah, Big Willie. I be darned. Boy, that's low down there. Boy, I be darned.
Your face is like, look at JJ's face.
I'm
JJ's trying to think like,
what is this?
JJ's trying to think, do I owe Eddie money? Why Eddie just pop on looking like this?
I know I got a new phone today. I'm like, God dang, is something transferring over? I don't know what the hell going on. I know it's still downloading stuff, trying to get transferred to my other phone, but God dang. I'm like, JJ, God dang.
JJ, he don't look local?
No, sir.
He don't
look
like
he's from the Bronx. Yes, sir. He's waiting on you to open up the store.
Listen, he look like he hang out at Johnny T's. He look like he's from Jackson, Mississippi.
I think he waiting on you to open up the restaurant, Big Willie.
Oh, Eddie Richardson, man. We're going to take a break. Come on back to our Willie Podcast Show.
God damn, boy, that low down there, Big Willie.
Welcome on back to the Wild Willie Podcast Show. JJ, it's time for Hot Topics. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Come on with it, Big Willie. What we got this week?
Do you know who Richard Sherman is?
What? The all pro, all
Mhm.
got done it. NFL got down the cornerback from Seattle
Yes.
Seahawks that went to the 49ers. Yes.
Mhm. Yep, and also played for the Tampa Bay Bucks. You also can catch him on Thursday nights on Amazon Football, Thursday Night Football, if you will. He does a great job on the desk with my former quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andrew Whitworth, Tony Gonzalez, and Clarissa Thompson's up there too, so they do a great job. But anyway, he had bad news, man. Recently, his house was broken into, JJ. He hit up social media and he said this: "My house being robbed at gunpoint with my family in it isn't what anyone wants for a birthday gift. Scary situation that my wife handled masterfully and kept my kids safe. If anyone has any info that can help find these people, please reach out." JJ, I'm going to jump out there and say it. This isn't the first time we've heard of these stories. I don't know if you know, recently Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce both got their homes broken into.
Joe Burrow.
I think Joe Burrow, Reggie Bush. There's been a couple guys, and these stories happen from time to time. JJ, I'm gonna be honest. Once again, this is one of my biggest fears. I don't have a lot of fears, but this one scares me the most because we all would like to think how we will react, right? If and when an intruder pops up, but we don't know, right? I do feel like you can have firearms, you can be trained. There's a lot of things that you can prepare yourself if and when that does happen. But there's another side. When you're not home to defend your family and you're leaving your wife alone with the kids in a house, because I'm sure Eddie was, I'm sure Sherm was.
Oh, you back on Eddie Richardson?
Eddie popped back on my head. I'm sure Rich was out doing whatever, but to realize your wife and your children are home, and if you see the footage, it's scary. These three dudes, they pop through a window, and it looks like they are armed. Yeah. And they ransacked the house, man. And so watching that video gave me instant, like, I had like this jolt of fear go through me because I'm like, God, because JJ, we and you could be on the road doing God knows what. And we get a phone call like, hey, baby, I'm in the house. I'm locked away somewhere. You know, these guys ran up in the house and I don't know what to do. Or the bottom line, she may know what to do. But once again, it's your wife at home alone with your kids. It drives me into a paralyzed state. It's crazy. So I don't know what to think of it other than thank God that his wife handled it masterfully and that nobody got hurt, and thank God everybody made it out untouched. But JJ, watching that film, it was nerving, man, because I don't know, even if I was there, if I had I would have, like, obviously I would charge and fight. There's been times where I've heard a bang downstairs, and the problem with me, Jay, I sleep nude. So my one time,
I think if I see you running down the stairs with a bat in your hand, dick got the balls, everything slinging, I think that's the hell. I'm hauling ass. That's worse than a gun, Big Willie.
So right, and I'm coming down like,
just gonna shoot me,
and I'm coming up like a bear, like this dick out and balls out. But my wife, this happened to us a year or two ago. There was a big bang downstairs, and my wife was like, and we heard I have alarms all over through this house, and so we have a chime when somebody's walking through different parts of the house, and we heard a chime and we heard the alarm go off, and then my wife was like, Willie, oh shit, somebody's in the house, and Jay. My initial reaction was to charge the stairs. Like I was asleep. I jumped up and I just butt ass naked ran down the stairs. Not prepared for anything, right? Like somebody could already been in the house, waited around the corner, and it just clunked me upside the head, and I kind of just went out. So there's a lot to learn from that. However, I don't know how to handle if I'm not in the house to protect my wife and kids. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a different scenario, different type of panic. All I could do is call my friend a friend or two who's only a mile or 3 miles away to get to the house as fast as they can, on top of calling the cops. That's all I can do. I don't know how Richard Sherman handled it because he gave all the praise to his wife. But JJ, how would you handle this situation?
Big Willie, that's one of them situations you can always say what you're gonna do, but you can't prepare for stuff like that. You just because even when you prepare, you don't get the same reaction as even if you're preparing. I mean, you can go into a fight And you can prepare all
Right.
day long, just like a boxer and a wrestler got done. But when you get in that ring, it's totally different than what you prepare for. There's no way that you can prepare for a situation. I mean, it's disturbing, it's scary. You got wife, you got kids in there. You don't know what to expect. Then you gotta expect the unexpected because you just don't know what to expect. And I'm just glad, they can be in a situation where they were safe. Did she come in contact with them, or was she kind of hid and they didn't know they was in the house?
Well, it sounds like she was able to hide and kind of at
Good,
least tuck herself away and protect herself, like because once again the kids and her didn't get hurt. I don't
good.
know what happened to the 3 assailants. I imagine they took what they needed or found and got the hell out of Dodge. I think for me, JJ, it's also different, right? Because you're down in Jackson, Mississippi, especially in the South. Gun culture is a religion, right? You guys believe in your guns. I know for a fact you have your peacemaker in the house, and so does Gucci. So you
Oh yeah,
guys are prepared. I know I have certain things in this house to,
oh yeah.
kind of keep things neutralized if and when the situation was to occur. However, there's still that real live in the moment where you got to handle it. And as much, once again, as much as I sit here and say, like, man, I know what to do or how to do it, it's a difference when it's live, right? You can practice all you want. You can you
Exactly.
talk about scenarios. Nerves do overcome you, especially when you're talking about life or death. I think for me, overall, the gun laws in New Jersey are way different from down in Mississippi. For instance, if somebody breaks in my house in New Jersey, Jay, I have to tell the intruder I have a gun, that I'm armed.
What?
Yep. Yeah, you have to
No,
tell.
man.
Yeah. So if JJ broke into my house, I have to alert JJ that, hey, I have a firearm and I will discharge this motherfucker if you guys don't leave. And then I have to allow the folks to retreat. Now, if
Well,
they
you
come
giving them time enough basically to prepare for that you got a gun.
right, and on top, but I know it's extremely different in Mississippi. Once your foot step on somebody's property and you're not wanted, that's your ass. They have free reign at your ass. And so there's a lot of education behind home invasion that I think people really have to now say to themselves, the way the economy is going, the way politics is going right now, the way a lot of things are going in this country right now. If and when a home invasion happens, do you know the law? Are you prepared? And are you ready for if and when it happens when you're not in the house? You get what I'm saying? Like Richard Sherman wasn't at home. So now this is how I interpret it, Jay. If I'm on the road or if I'm out of town, I have to make sure. My wife is very headsy. She's very smart. Like she before she lays down, and if I'm ever out of town, the alarms go off. Like she knows how to do her thing when I'm out the house. But Jay, as a father and as a protector, like you and I are, we now have to prep our family for the what if with us outside the house. Because for me, up until this moment, I've only been prepped for the situation if I am in the house.
Exactly.
I've never thought about it with me being outside the house and how it affects my children and what my wife needs to do. Now she knows what to do, but I now have to make sure we're on the same accord if and when this type of situation happens. Because like JJ, you have a big place and you got a lot going on your property. So do I. And if you watch the video, these dudes don't come through the garage. These dudes don't come through the laundry room. These guys came through the living room. It looked like the family room window and dove right in. So that's a whole different.
Yes.
Like that's because of my I know for a fact my kids and my wife, they sit underneath the blanket and they watch movies in the family room. You know what I mean? So it elevated my anxiety when it came to the situation.
And then not only that, Big Willie, you got to think about it. After all that happened, you don't feel safe in your own home no more. It's like, do I still want to stay here? Do I need to move? Because it just every time you go to sleep at night, you thinking about, dang, they know where I stay. They don't been in here once. What if they come back? It just make you uncomfortable in your own home.
No question. And then you don't realize what made them come there, right? Were they sent? Were they staking out the place? Was they looking for something specific in your home that they thought you had? Right? There's a lot of. I always feel like outside of like there was a viral video. There's a viral video that's been circling around here in New Jersey. This lady who had a big estate. 3 guys got into the house. They were like, "Give me the vault. Where's the vault?" And she was just like, "The vault's not here. It's outside." And she is able, and these guys was like, well, get us to the vault. She's able to lure these guys to the outside garage where she gets to her gun and she lets off and she starts popping at them. Them guys haul ass. And come to find out, Jay, prior to that situation, she had went on social media and talked about how much money she made in crypto. You know what I mean? So we don't know, like you with your business and everything you got going on and everything I have going on, people come looking for certain things or they assume. You know what I mean? So it's like that. So to kind of go back to your point, it would make me unnerving because if they didn't get what they came for the first time, it doesn't mean they're not going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I'm like, I'm with you on that regard, because usually if somebody's coming to ransack your place, they're grabbing, plates. I don't know, plates. I'm like it's the 80s. They grabbing whatever, right? But if somebody comes and specifically asks for something, like these gentlemen were, they was like, hey, take us to the vault. They knew where the vault, they knew there was a vault in the house, and they knew money was in the house. They needed her to lead them there. And thank God she was smart enough. And thank God those guys were, I guess, patient enough, because most guys would be like, I'm going to knock this chick's head off and we just going to, find it ourselves. That wasn't the case. They, she was able to lure them to the outside garage and handle those dudes accordingly. So it's a different dog. But watching the Richard Sherman situation definitely gave me anxiety. Moving on, let's talk about JJ. When I saw this topic, I was excited because I just felt like you knew you had all the right answers. You know about the famous pastor, Marvin Sapp, JJ. Right.
Yes, I do. You close them goddamn doors, goddamn. You gonna make that donation, Big Willie, before you leave up out that goddamn door. That's all I gotta say.
I just want to throw this out there, JJ. It says a video of gospel singer from last year telling church to close the doors until they raise $40,000 goes viral recently, and now the singer is facing backlash and death threats. It says the controversy stems from a viral video, as I just mentioned, of Marvin Sapp speaking in front of the congregation at the 109th Pentecostal Assemblies for the World Convention in Baltimore, Maryland, last July. So this is an old video. In the video, Sapp called on churchgoers in the building online to help raise $40,000 by giving $20 each. Obviously, people took issue specifically with the moment where Sapp says, "Ushers, close the door. Close the door." He said it repeatedly, and there was, he said, "There's 1,000 of you tonight, and it's 1,000 watching online. This is a small seed.
There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight."
People blasted him saying he was taking church goers hostage. JJ, the floor is yours. This give me what I need to hear.
Well, Big Willie, it's funny you mentioned that today, because for one, Ricky Smiley himself had Marvin Sapp on the radio today to give his version of what happened. He said, the floor is yours. He said, whatever, you're a good friend of mine. He said, and I know who you are, and I just want you to explain to the people of your version of what went on. So, Big Willie, you have already said it. Marvin Sapp said this happened last year.
Yeah.
And he said that it was not like the people interpreted. He said people always turn stuff around in another way, and basically want to be, get these critics, for, posting stuff and, just doing stuff to make them look, make people look bad and get their critics and stuff. He said, but that wasn't the case. He said, to be honest with you, he said, he might have had some bass in his voice, and he do apologize for that. He said, because the way he said it, he could have said it differently. He said, but that money was not for him. He said what he was doing was raising money.
He made that clear though in the video
and everything, for the church, and trying to get, what they, needed, far as, and he said, hoping that they got more than that. He said, but that money was not for him. He said, as a matter of fact, he was not even preaching at his own church. He was preaching at somebody else's church, trying to raise money for that congregation. He said, so none of that money came to him. He said, he's been preaching for the longest at his church for years. He said he made millions with his singing. He don't have to have money, he said, from raising money in church and putting it in his pocket.
You know, it's interesting, man, because I do have friends who are pastors who are part of the clergy. And I know when I was in Pittsburgh, man, we had a reverend who's my fraternity brother, Pastor Curtis, who I love dearly, man. He was a brother who drove a motorcycle, had a nice car, and wasn't flashy at all, but he looked clean. He looked like a gentleman. And I remember my time in Pittsburgh, he would get ridiculed from time to time because of how well he looked. And he had a big congregation. I mean, church was always full of people, big choir. I mean, all the bells and whistles. And then I can remember him from time to time having to tell certain people in the congregation, like, hey, man, I'm not taking your money, nor am I, stealing your money.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm asking you to pay your tithes, that's for the church.
Mm-hmm.
And he went on to, I think, visually show how he did make his money. He made his money from visiting other churches and speaking engagements.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he made his money. And people who are poor and broke, asking for an uplift to get them out of debt. They don't know how they're going to keep the lights on. They don't know how they're going to keep their house. To see somebody live better than you, but yet have the gall to ask for money. Because, JJ, when you put the money in the plate, you don't know where it's going. You just assume you're doing your job as a Christian or a believer. And you trust that the church and the powers that be are doing right by it, and you just let it go where it goes. But there's so much scrutiny within the church and how the church is operated and how they deal with their financials. It leaves a lot of questions. With that said, it's troubling because I don't think, to your point, and I don't know how to say this, $20 may be a lot to some folks. $20 may be nothing to other folks.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, what I got annoyed with from the piece is, why are you closing the doors? Because
he explained it.
What did he say?
He said that's a terminology that all preachers use, meaning as like close the doors. He said when you say close the doors, you're not saying close the doors so goddamn so people won't go out of it. He said it's a terminology. He said if you look it up, a lot of preachers say close the doors. He said, and he
he called the ushers first.
Yeah,
right.
He said he tell the ushers to stand. He say now if you don't notice, he say anytime you're raising money, he said if you Google it or you probably don't heard about it. It's a lot of churches that get robbed, and the ushers know to goddamn it move only 3 times during the sermon of when they're preaching. And he named 2 of them, but one is to stand by the door when they raise money. He said because people have broken in churches and robbed it, especially when it's a big congregation and they know money
Makes
coming
sense.
in. He said, and if you don't sit there and you lock them doors and be there prepared like that is what they always do, then you're risking everything. He say, so that's a terminology that all preachers use. Now, this is what he said on the show.
I've never heard of that.
Uh-huh.
And I've also been in church long enough, and I've given enough money, and I will continue to pay my tithes. I believe in that because God has blessed me. Forget about it. But with that said, I've never heard a preacher say close the doors. And I get what you're saying. Maybe it's a Southern thing. Maybe it's a Pentecostal thing. I don't know. I know every time it's time to pass the plate or pay your tithes, there's some singing. There's a sense of, all right, let's be patient. There's about being orderly about it. And it's about, getting the tithes and pushing on. I always feel that, and you probably seen a lot of people go viral. The church needs to do more for the congregation to not take the money, but how can they help the congregation? And I'm pretty sure churches do it. I don't know. I don't want to get into schematics and semantics about what happens and what doesn't happen. All I know from that viral clip of this man saying, close the doors, I want $20 out of all your pockets, seemed like a robbery. It felt like, hey, nobody's leaving this place. I need $20 out of all you. and we're even though I'm saying, we're trying to raise $40K, doesn't matter. Just give me everything, empty your pockets. It just felt awkward. And I know that wasn't the case. He wasn't trying to rob the folks. But from the viral clip, asking the ushers to close the door is something I never heard of.
Well, Big Willie, I'm trying to Google it. I can't find it either. I want to know, is it a terminology for a preacher saying close the doors?
JJ, you're older than me. You've been to a number of services.
Yes, sir.
I've never heard that. I know. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Of that
I heard the doors are open.
Of course, because the church is supposed to welcome all. No, there's no station in the church. So I'm of the mindset, like when he said close the doors, like everybody else, it sounded like he was saying, I need $20 out of out of your pockets, and I'm having my ushers play goalie until we collect this money. That's maybe
that was his way of just brushing it all up. Then Big Willie, he said he never said lock the doors. I said shut the doors. Sapp emphasizing shutting the doors means that people still have the ability to go in and out. They have taken the issue with my tone, and I can honestly say, looking at the video, maybe I was a little assertive than I should have been. That's what he said.
JJ, why do you shut a door? Let's start with the basics here.
So can't nobody come in or out?
Bingo. Why are you preventing people while they're paying their tithes to come in and out?
Yeah. Well, he said he had the ushers there because it's a big congregation, and he can't risk robbers coming in. Now, that's what he said on the Rick Smiley show today.
It sounds good, Jay, but I also know this. It is a form of embarrassment.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, if the plate comes around and you're a little light, right? You ain't got that 20 that the pastor's asking for, you gonna give him one of these, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And while everybody's reaching and scrambling to put their money in a plate, and 2 or 3 people pop up and they get stopped at the door, they now have to turn around, and church folks or the nosiest folks.
What?
They're gonna turn around and look like, oh, look at John over there. He must not have his money.
Oh, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a form of like, look who decided not to pay their tithes, but they can go drinking all night. I saw them in the club spending that money on that alcohol.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but basically, they felt like they were forced to do something they didn't want to do.
It would force me to feel like I got to give up something.
Yeah.
Because if I stood up and was like, well, I don't feel like giving up. Let me just and to everybody out there, they could also be like, I'm push the plate pass and not pay. But if somebody wanted to leave while the church is kind of conducting this business and wanted to go to the bathroom and they get stopped, it's a form of like
an embarrassment right there, Big Willie.
No.
That is kind of embarrassing.
It's like when you're you're having a great dinner and the bill comes out and that one person's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom while you guys like, no. Pay your side of the bill, homie. You know what I mean? Like but when a person stands up and they can't pay, it's shame on them. How could you sit down and eat and not be able to pay for your meal? Why would you go to church if you can't pay your tithes? And it outs you. So that's why I think Marvin Sapp know what he was doing. He just got called out. Yeah, I think he's trying to be cool. Like, nah, I wasn't trying to do that. You know what you was doing, homie.
Exactly.
Right. The problem is social media is live and thriving.
You're right about that.
And it keeps receipts. JJ, do you know about the viral hit? It's all over social media. It's called Pop the Balloon. Have you heard of it?
What? It's Big Will. I think everybody heard of it. I catch myself sometime, looking at it, trying to see who gonna make it to the end and who gonna get picked. And it's very rare, Big Willie. And then what make it so bad, Big Willie?
What?
The ones that try to and say something about the one they don't want to pick, they look way worse than their darn self. I don't understand. That would trip me out.
So we got breaking news. It says it was announced that the series would be coming to Netflix, hosted by Insecure star Yvonne Orji. Pop the Balloon will air live every Thursday beginning on April 10th and still feature regular contestants and a handful of reality stars and surprise celebrity guests. And their creators will also continue to be a part of it. JJ, you know how the show goes. Do you know how the game is played, JJ?
Yes, I do. I mean, I have seen got done it. All the ladies lined up, and this nice goddamn man got done it. Big Willie got everything going for himself, dressed nice,
Yeah.
everything. I'm talking about probably smelling good from what the person told him. A nice gentleman, and you got women that might say his pants too tight. Another one got done it might
Oh,
say
it's
got
brutal.
done it all. He not thuggish enough. Another one
Uh-huh.
might say got done it. Well, I don't like dreads, and the other one might say got done it, and he'll go back and ask all of them, that complain about him and this man making 6 figures. Well, let me ask you a question: how many children you have? And they'll tell him, well, I got 4. Some of them might say 5. He was like, how many baby daddies you got? Some of them say 4. Some of them say 5. Some of them say 3. He say, but you gonna sit here and you gonna talk about me, and I don't have any. You gonna talk about me, and I don't have any. But here I am I'm a nice groomed guy, got everything going for myself. But you can find my flaws, but you don't see any flaws in you. So Big Willie, it's a tripped out situation. I enjoy just looking at it, goddamn, to hear these people complain they got problems, just looking for goddamn love, but they got problems of their own trying to find love.
You're right. So the premise of the show, as JJ explained, upon initial introduction, the eligible bachelor or bachelorette stands before a row of single contenders who are all holding red balloons. If based off initial attraction, vibe, energy, or whatever the kids are calling these days is a no, they will pop the red balloon. That's what JJ talked about. And if there's follow-up questions to those whose balloons were left not popped, and the process continues on and on, ultimately till it's one person. JJ pretty much laid down law saying, hey man, it's funny, right? Because sometimes the person who doesn't look probably the most on par of what these women want are sometimes the guys who are making 6 figures, the guys who are handling their business, but it's always some real minuscule thing like, well, he looks like a nice guy, but look how short his look how short the sleeves on his shirt. He's a handsome man, but like why he wearing loafers? And it's like,
Yeah.
is that how you're judging these men?
Thank you.
And then some of these, and the guys aren't no different, by the way.
Yeah.
The guys are just but it makes me, it's weird, man, because we've talked about it from time to time, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
You exude confidence, I exude confidence. During our era, pre-social media, we looked forward to having a mouthpiece or enough game to walk upon a lady we were attracted to and win them over for a date. And I'm sure I didn't always look my best, and I'm sure you didn't always look your best. But our confidence and our mental agility and our suave and our charm, whatever you want to call it, or maybe the goddamn money hanging out of our pocket, whatever.
Yeah.
We were able to get ours.
Exactly.
But this show is brutal because I've seen the clips. There's 6'4" chocolate brother, ripped up, maybe clothes fitted nice. It looks like he got a lot going on for himself, and he'll say one thing and it's pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that why you're popping the balloon?
Yes.
Because he loves watching The Simpsons? You know what I mean? It's just like,
yes, exactly.
get what I'm saying? It's like, are women this fickle? Are women this judgment? Are people alone? Like listen, I get it. Initial attraction is a lot. However, at the same time, Jay, we gotta be better.
Man, we got to.
Like women, I see clips time and time how black women and women in general always say there's no good black men anymore.
Yes.
All the black men want to date outside their culture. I've seen on that show good brothers, maybe some have kids, but most of them seem like decent brothers.
Oh,
and two sentences out of their mouth, and it's a pop. And it's one or two
they
girls.
might not even like the way you sound. Well, hello, my name is Darn. Pop, 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 pop. God dang, this guy ain't gave the man a chance. You just talking about the way he talk.
The motherfucker can have a cold.
Yeah.
He can have a sinus infection. Who knows? But the fact that women off the rip, and what's crazy, Jay, I see it walking around. I went to my buddy's birthday party in the city, and it was at a nice little vibe spot called the Saint, little hookah bar lounge, real upscale, was nice. And man, you can tell, and there was a lot of ladies in there, a lot of girls, a lot of good looking women in there, and let alone, it wasn't about how they were looking at the men walking in and out. It was how the women were looking at the other women. I mean, it was just the cut of the eyes, like the up and down, the snapping of the head. I'm just like, you don't even know this person. And I know girls can be catty, so that's just a whole different world. But when it came to the brothers, I can see like some women would just look at a guy and be like, snarl at him. And I'm just like, girl, you're going to be single for the rest of your life. You don't even, this brother didn't even open his mouth. You don't even know his name. And I can tell by your face, you've already thrown judgment his way. And I'm saying to myself, Jay, how do we get through that? Because if we continue to cry about what's not available and what we deserve, but yet when every time Dick and Harry comes along and they're saying, hey, I'm here, and you're like, there's no good men.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm right here. They all want Latinas and white girls. And the other guy's like, hey, I'm right here. I hate my life. Like, no, you're the problem.
Yes.
You're the problem.
Exactly. I agree. You can't please them, Big Willie. Don't matter what you do.
I'm interested to watch this this balloon series, Pop the Balloon series, because I think it's going to expose, because it already exposes people for being fickle and superficial and narcissistic. It exposes all that. But I think people need to see in real time how they look and how they react to people they don't know. Like, to see themselves, right? Like, this, because one thing athletes have, when we play a game, we get to go back and watch film.
Exactly.
I think outside of the people that will be attending and watching this, the contestants, I hope they really watch themselves. Like, did I really need to say that about this brother?
Exactly.
He was better than half the men at my job. But because I was being in my feelings, or maybe just didn't want to stick out or stand out and say I actually like this brother, I popped my balloon. You know what I mean? I just hope people actually go back and watch the tape and realize they were being assholes about the whole situation.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%, Big Willie.
So once again, Pop the Balloon series on Netflix drops April 10th. It will be hosted by Insecure star Yvonne Orji. We're gonna take a quick break. Come on back. Why Willie Podcast Show. We got Brittany on the cam. Let's catch up with March Madness. How's our March Madness food bracket going, Britt?
All right, another week, another round, and we're down to our final four. I'll read you the four different matchups and who won out of those. So, out of wings and nachos, this is a big one. I feel like either one can win. Wings wins with 64% of the vote, and wings will move on to the final four.
And who had wings? What you had, Big Willie?
I didn't have wings. I had cookies and brownies.
What I had, Britt?
You had wings.
So I moved on?
You're in the final four, Jay.
That'll work.
After your Rotel dip took an early dismissal. Yes.
Big Willie, you set me up on that one.
Ah.
Speaking of the Rotel dip, spinach and artichoke dip beat that last week, and it's going against pizza this week. Two big favorites. Spinach and artichoke dip got a lot of votes on IG, but pizza gets a lot more votes on YouTube. So the total votes, pizza wins by 56%.
Oh,
wow.
Very close, and
That's what you had, Britt. You had the spinach dip. You were all about the spinach.
I love me a good cheesy spinach dip, so I'm very sad.
There you go. What else we got?
And then cheeseburger sliders versus guacamole and chips. Who do you think is going to win out of that?
I got cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburger sliders.
Yeah. You guys are right. 64% of the vote, even though guacamole and chips are a very good watch party snack.
Very popular.
Those move on. And then the final one, these are very two opposites. Crawfish boil and brownies and cookies. They cannot be more opposite. Crawfish boil had more votes on IG, but on YouTube, brownies and cookies had more votes overall. So the overall winner with 55%, the closest vote of the round, brownies and cookies moves on.
We move on, baby! We're moving on! We're cutting the nets!
Wow! Over crawfish? Wow!
Woo! Told you. I know it.
Brownies?
I know it.
So
what's the final? So what's the final four?
The final four is wings, pizza, cheeseburger sliders, and brownies and cookies are your final four left.
Well, I did have me a good brownie, got darn it, and ice cream at a nice delicacy restaurant this past weekend, and I must say it was delicious.
Delicious.
It was.
I believe it. Any final words out of you? I feel like we never get any final words out of you. Anything? You got anything?
Nope. Just keep voting. Keep leaving comments. Tell you that we're definitely reading them. I read them all the time. And just keep sending us love. Any questions, anything that you want to comment on, we'll read them next week. And we got JJ today.
And stay doing them. We noticed Big Willie been getting down on them TikToks. Britt, we've been seeing it. Big Willie, you came with it again. Big Willie, we saw you.
He's dancing. He's wearing hats. He's a new man.
Yes, sir, Big Willie. We see you getting in there, Big Willie.
It's only because the weather's changing. That's it. It's getting warmer. Getting my exercise in. That's it. Trying to burn calories as I go. I'm Willie Clone, and here's
JJ Big Willie, and we'll see y'all next week.